Welcome to the CEO Insider, powered by YTexas. Welcome to the CEO Insider podcast, brought to you by YTexas. We're joined by Darien George, who is the YTexas Fort Worth board representative, correct?
Yes.
Sometimes it's tough to get all that out. Big titles sometimes are very, very tough. What I'm feeling and talking to people here is that Fort Worth is a great place to be on many levels. The city is great to do business in. It's a big city, much bigger than people think, and doing business with kind of a small town feel to it, which hopefully will never go away.
It is, yeah. So it's odd. I'm one of, it seems like, especially at my age nowadays, who's originally from Fort Worth. We have so many transplants, which is not a bad thing. The city's growing extremely fast. It's amazing how it seems overnight. We've just expanded from all the way up north to Alliance, down south, Clear Fork, and all the way down out west. And it's interesting to hear. So, I know this just from being so involved, how literally City of Fort Worth has more developable land than any other major cities within the top 25. It's pretty amazing. And so, yeah, it's a fantastic. I'm a big proponent of Fort Worth. I love Fort Worth. It's a great place to raise your kids, have a family, and it does. So many people know the mayor and have spoken with her a while. I think that you don't have that touch points with a lot of places like Dallas, and I don't think a lot of people can be like, yeah, no, I know the Dallas mayor.
Fort Worth is no longer Cowtown or the Stockyard and just the Stockyards. It's much, much more.
It is
now, and that's happened over a period of time.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons that, I got involved. I somehow randomly got involved in YTexas. I'm a big Fort Worth guy, and we have clients and we do business in Dallas, but I've not been real involved in Dallas. And I had actually a buddy of mine I grew up with. He moved his company from New York back to Flower Mound, and he said, hey, you need to get involved in this YTexas thing. And I said, okay. So I went over and got involved and have seen a lot of what they're doing with the Dallas Chamber and a lot of the other cities. And I said, we got to get this over in Fort Worth. And so I've worked a lot with Ed to really get YTexas an intro into Fort Worth. And some of the big corporations. Our first big lunch that we've done, the idea is to have a lunch in the spring, possibly at BNSF, and then look maybe down at the City Center, and try to get one a little closer into downtown.
What is your elevator pitch for YTexas?
So YTexas is interesting because you've got the chambers in the cities, which actually go out and try to recruit companies that come here. What I love about YTexas is it takes it that next step. Once they've relocated here, there's a lot of research that shows, so I run a talent firm, so we do executive search and we do a lot of consulting with clients on how to retain your best talent, develop your talent, how to hire the best talent. And there's a lot of research that shows when companies relocate, usually within 3 to 5 years, a lot of the executive team is turned over. And you want to keep that talent within your community, right? You don't want them leaving and going back to, California or wherever it is. You want to keep them here. It's hard to retain great talent. And so by getting them involved in the community, getting them involved with other of the larger CEOs, it tends to keep them in the community, helps them network. So it's different. And stuff like this, you see these collaborations happen where, YTexas now is basically doing a cohort with UNT and the Dallas County Promise, along with developing essentially a leadership academy, which I think a lot of these companies and CEOs love the aspect and idea of it, and would never have had that all come together in those resources. And then, in Fort Worth, they're sort of on the other spectrum. Instead of right now, they don't have the Dallas County Promise yet. They're looking at doing something like that in Fort Worth, but they've been focused on basically birth to age 5 in their Read Fort Worth. So, and it's all workforce development piece. So I think it brings a lot of CEOs together that otherwise wouldn't be able to connect with all those resources and collaborate and for instance, be able to do some of the programs that we're doing. and network with each other. And I mean, a lot of times that's how business gets done too.
It is. That is how business gets done. Well, thank you, Darren, very much for sitting in business. Thank you for promoting YTexas, and I'm sure we'll see each other again soon.
I'm around. Got my fingers in a lot of stuff.